Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. This is our Path of the Damned Herald run, episode 11. We're gonna be jumping into some minor questing, and probably before the end of this episode, we're probably gonna just jump straight to storyline stuff with meeting the royalty, the prince and queen of the Kahunga. More than likely. We'll see that. Mephisto.
Of course.
So, Rabuna, I don't know how to... So, these are both companions. She actually will... She gets into some stuffs. I don't Mephisto thing. Assume the position. Really? Interesting. Oh, Constantine is
Indeed
an actual companion. I forgot that he was here. Let's grab him. A burly dwarf man hums a jaunty tune to himself as he fastidiously organizes his collection of scented oils. When he hears you enter the room, he greets you with a smile and a humongous outstretched hand. His grip is strong and sure.
Come to seek ablutions for your sins?
He slaps his knee with a bark of laughter.
Get it? Ablutions? Absolution? Ha! I crack myself up. Gets me every time.
He wipes a tear from his eyes, still chuckling.
Massage? Bath? Whatever you need. Just ask.
How'd you end up here?
Oh, you don't want to hear about that. I lived a boring life, so there wouldn't be much to the telling.
He crosses his thick arms over his chest. A slight blush spreads across his cheeks. Indulge me.
Truth be told, my real passion is pottery. Trouble is, I got these big hands. Not meant for delicate work.
He turns his hands palm up for you to inspect. Just one is easily large enough to cover your entire face.
Worked out in the end, of course. Now I specialize in relieving tension in a Mauer and death godlike.
He nods to himself. Perception. You seem bored here.
I guess I can't hide my feelings as well as I thought I could.
He gives you a nervous chuckle and scratches at his beard.
The stability's good and all, but I haven't seen anything that gets my blood pumping in ages. You know what I mean?
What's life without a little excitement?
Doing the same old thing day in, day out. It's enough to make a man leap from the nearest window.
He nods vigorously. You could come with me.
Where to?
He raises an inquisitive brow, his large hands, previously dancing with restless energy, still. You know that 700-foot-tall statue made of Adra? I'm going after it.
No kidding.
He nearly drops a bottle of massage oil in his excitement.
I like to see something like that for myself.
He sighs, a wistful edge in his voice.
Do you think I could come with you? Just for a bit.
Recruit Constantine. Grab your things then. Let's go.
Hell, you don't have to tell me twice.
So, we're probably not gonna use any of the, there are characters, and then there are companions, right? The characters have actual storylines and everything like that. The companions just have, portraits and, some specific dialogue here or there. So we don't really have a reason to use the companions. However, we do have a reason to pick up the companions, because you can pick up the companions and they, if I'm remembering correctly, they will be present on your boat for battles. So it's actually like recruiting the companions actually makes you significantly stronger in ship combat, and ship combat boarding specifically. Although I don't know, I heard they rebalanced the way you get items, but ship combat, generally speaking, is one of the ways that you can get a lot of money in the game. earlier or mid-game. So picking up companions is going to be a very nice thing to do. Nice way to add power. So we pick up Constantin. And we're going to go with Howler, right? Because, again, we're doing multi-class on everyone. So we will go ahead and turn him into a Chanter Barbarian. Cool. And we will leave him now, because we don't care at the moment. This is Rabuna's chamber. And there's Annalise. So let's talk to you, Ymir.
See something you like?
I do. Dancer turns to greet you, a coy smile tugging at his lips. He's short for an elf, but no less graceful for his lacking height. His long face and dark eyes lend him a solemn air, but any hint of gloom is chased away by the wash of color in his cheeks.
Aloth, this is the last place I expected to see you. Have your interests changed so much since our time at Bragon Hill?
A grin lights up Ymir's face. He fidgets with his hair self-consciously, smoothing it down where it's a bit mussed.
No, I still enjoy tile puzzles and deflecting personal questions. Anyway, what are you doing here?
He looks away as though he's trying to ignore Ymir's eager gaze. Adair gives a nod and a wink, hands on his hips, Seraphin grins, and Shodi nibbles on her lips to hide a spreading smile. Basically everyone liked this.
I could ask the same of you.
He laughs lightly, a hand over his mouth.
I make my own hours, meet fascinating people, and the coin's nothing to sneer at. Better than stuffy old books and unflattering robes.
He casts a critical eye over Aloth's outfit. He opens his mouth to speak, but decides better of us. This is amazing.
It's good to see you again, Aloth. Anyway, I should get back to it. Be well.
He smiles warmly at Aloth, blush coloring the tips of his ears. Adair nods in agreement, and Seraphin snickers quietly.
It was lovely seeing you.
He catches himself looking panicked.
Perhaps lovely is too strong a word. I meant pleasant. Perfectly agreeable.
He looks at you, chagrined.
I can see where I may have confused the poor fellow in our academy days.
Yeah, you think?
'Twas a right fierce labour getting the lad to finger any flesh that weren't covering his spelly books.
Oh, wow, Isilmir. Oh.
Did you enjoy the show? There's more to see, if you're interested.
Tell me about yourself.
I suppose.
He looks at you with a newly critical eye.
I was raised in the Adair Empire. When I was young, I studied to be an arcane knight. After an incident at my school, I left the continent and wandered until I found myself in Nikotaka. As you can see, I stayed.
What kind of incident?
A handful of my fellow students got up to a bit of mischief that ended with several people dead.
His gaze lingers on the floor, the cushions, the tables, anywhere but your face. After a moment, he shrugs, offering no further explanation. Let me ask you about something else.
Did you enjoy the show?
About yourself.
I was raised in the Adair Empire.
How'd you become a courtesan?
Same as any of the courtesans here, I imagine.
He brushes his hair back from his face with a sigh. His long-suffering smile says he's answered this question many times before.
I showed an aptitude. I trained with a master, and when I was ready, I began accepting clients of my own.
There has to be more to your story than that.
There is more to every story.
He cants his head to the side, inspecting you with narrowed eyes.
But the rest of it belongs to me, and I don't care to share it.
How much for your time?
Ah, the money-minded type. I've always found fiscal responsibility very attractive. My time will cost you 150 copper, friend.
Never mind.
Till later, then.
I think, I do want to check this real quick, because I think he gives you a
Ahoy,
buff.
Captain. If I could bend your ear a moment, I'll be aiming to thank you for bringing me aboard.
Okay. A furred hand at his belly and one heel out, he bows deeply, drooping ear almost touching the
You're on
ground.
a tight shop, and you ain't no terrible person, either. It'd be a welcome change from the gentleman of leisure.
Tell me about the gentleman of leisure.
The gentleman is only the finest ship among the Principe, and Captain Ferrante our most respected shipmaster. It were 2 honors and a half to be chosen to join his crew.
I detect a but in there.
Aye, you ain't wrong. Joining the gentleman meant leaving the sorcerer, leaving the only family I've ever known.
Family?
I never knew no kin till the sorcerer. They be my salt family. And to me, that'd be better far than blood.
You know what? I think is kind of it suddenly occurred to me, I think is a curious and interesting thing, because I'm pretty sure that they did the voice acting for this game before they began campaign 2. I wonder how much doing the voice acting for this game, or this game in general, affected Travis in creating Ford and the story that he went with Ford, and Matt in general in the design of like the Menagerie Coast and stuff like that. I'm really curious. I bet that there's some connections there. Definitely for Travis, I would assume. That's really interesting, actually. Why were you willing to leave that crew to join mine?
Don't sell yourself a Suole short, Cap, nor me neither. I know an opportunity when I bought it.
He chuckles.
I'd seen what there were to be seen upon the gentleman, learn what ropes were to be learned. Methinks a watcher after a dead god'll thrust me into an whole new set of eye-openings.
Shoddy's eyes gleam with dark amusement.
And believe you me, I do appreciate myself a good thrust.
He grins. Adair nods in agreement. Shoddy's eyes gleam with dark amusement, and Aloth massages his temples, shaking his head. I've gotta like toss Seraphim. Seraphim and Aloth in the same party is not good. They're gonna get mad at each other eventually. I'm glad you're with me.
I've a gift for you. This trinket be from one of the first ships I hunted. Malnage would have snatched it had I not found the perfect hiding spot.
So where did you hide it?
I know were I to tell you that, you mightn't want it no more.
Seraphim gives an almost innocent whistle, whilst searching his ass as subtly as one could scratch it. Well, scratching, rather. Adair nods in agreement, and Shoddy nibbles her lips to hide a spreading smile.
Just a jest, Cap. Nay, I tucked it away in my beard. Didn't wear braids back then, so my hair caught about everything from feathers to fish bones. Malnage shook me down for plunder after each raid. I figured out she wouldn't go nowhere near my beard. Said my face were like a saw-rip fetish.
Why did Malnage treat you so badly?
Don't rightly know for sure, Cap. Thought at first she wanted me. Lasses be that way sometimes, treating you worse the more they fancy you. Given she tried to get me killed twice within our first fortnight together, I thought mayhap she were in deepest love.
Deepest love. He chuckles quietly. Faint of trace smile forms on Adair's lips, and Shoddy lifts her chin in interest. Were you attracted to Malnage?
Didn't fancy her in the least. But a man has needs. And I figured at the time that she were as wet as any other lass.
Oof.
Figured I'd give her a whisper about what we might get down to in the old. Her answer were an unequivocal no, made with a sharpness.
Uh-oh.
Might have been the closest I've ever been to death.
He winces and rubs his throat. Thank you for the gift, Seraphim.
You be entirely welcome. Now, if you'll pardon me, I've roundabout reached my limit for sentiment.
Seraphim salutes, grinning broadly, and turns away. We have gained the Cypher's Shackle, +1 Constitution and resistance to dexterity afflictions, which is nice because it's just an item that we can use. Great, fantastic. And who should we put that on? Probably Shoddy is going to be a better plan. Maybe Seraphim, but I'm. Shoddy's got the Amulet of Health right now. We'll just put on Seraphim. That's fine. 4 health and 2 fortitude.
Not a bad bit of tackle, Captain.
Okay, so what I was gonna test is I wanted to
something you
test and
like?
see if you get a buff. I'm pretty sure you get
Did
a
you
buff.
enjoy the show?
I feel like I should have a problem with this, but mostly I just kind of want to see where this goes.
She licks her lips and gives you a little shrug. Seraphine snickers quietly.
Follow me then.
Gives you a quick smile and takes your hand, leading you away. So...
I wouldn't mind seeing you again, so long as you come with coin.
Yes, we get a buff. We have Ymir's Boon, which is +1 Constitution, +1 Insight, +2 Reflex. Cool. And we'll actually... Like, I won't reset, because I enjoyed that dialogue with Shodi. So we are going to check Rabuna. A fire godlike woman polishes a pair of stocks, tending to them with the fondness of a mother for her favorite child. The room is dim, illuminated only by the glow of her steel-forged skin. Her eyes burn with the light of Mogren's fire. When she hears you enter, she shoots you a look of utter contempt.
I will give you an experience you won't soon forget.
Tell me about yourself.
I must assume the question beneath your question is how a fire godlike came to find herself in a place such as this.
She leans back against a wall of chains. They clank and rattle, and she smiles at the sound. I was actually kind of expecting unique dialogue beneath two godlike, or between two godlike.
Perseverance. Being as I am, I have been forced to find it for myself. Now I teach it to others. To live in a world as a thinking, feeling creature, it is difficult. It demands strength. But we cannot always be strong. I help those who have lost their strength to find it again.
She wraps a chain around her arm and tugs. The steel links grow red with forge fire where they touch her skin. How much for your time?
300 copper. I know it's a bit more than most, but my service is like nothing you will find anywhere else in Nekataka.
Let's get to it then.
Very well. Remove your clothing and shut the door.
She runs a hand along her freshly polished stocks while she waits for you to comply with her orders. Again, interested to see what buffs we get.
You may leave.
Okay, so we got Rabuna's Boon is +1 Dexterity, +1 Might, and +2 Resolve. That's damn
Captain.
good.
Aye, aye.
Got very little coin. Annalise. A young woman reclines on the cushions, a hookah hose held delicately in one hand. Eyes closed, she sings to herself. Her voice is soft and inviting. She doesn't move when she hears you approach, but slowly opens her eyes with a lazy smile.
Come, lay your head on my breast. I will read to you the work of my favorite poet, Skilba.
Tell me about yourself.
It's futile to attempt to summarize the whole of a person in simple words. How to capture their dreams, the desires of another, their feel and taste.
Okay, you hippie.
But I appreciate your curiosity nonetheless. I am an actor. Trained from childhood. Difficult for you to believe, I'm sure.
Why? A teasing smile pulls at the corner of her lips. Her voice is wistful, almost melancholic.
My troop were my family, and we traveled the whole of the Adir Empire, performing the classic literatures to cheering audiences.
Okay, I'm not sure that I like honest. Like, sometimes honest is just asshole. Like, how is this honest? Too bad you didn't do something more productive with your time. That's not honest. Like, what kind of honesty do you think that is? Like, fuck off. Fortunately, we can be diplomatic. Sounds like a pleasant life.
The work was good when the crowds were grateful, and their pockets swelled with coin.
She gives you a pained smile and looks away. Seraphine strokes his braided beard beneath a quiet smirk. Shodi lifts her chin in interest.
I found a more dependable application of my talents here. To touch the hearts of others with my voice. I could not give that up. Have you come to hear some verse?
How much for your time?
100 copper pans, a reasonable fee to experience the sublime words of Adir's greatest poets, don't you think? Come, lay your head on my breast. I will read to you the work of my favorite. Do you know Skilba? She wrote in the time before Adir's marriage to Kulkin, when the kingdom was fire bright and yearning for a purpose. Now, listen.
Odie's over here snoring.
An exquisite poet. Oh, this shall be a rare treat.
Hands on his hips, Seraphin grins. Thoughtful, Shodi rubs a knuckle under the edge of her jaw.
Ship at dawn, its face pressed to the sea's slick lips. My sister and you, a sailor died in lantern light. The wind, my brother's fingers pulling at your hair, his breath hot and boastful, promising. I, a horizon whose borders your thumb has not traced in years. You, slack-jawed and groaning, your chin in the hard grip of longing, led stumbling through the waves.
And Buff?
A pleasant diversion, yes? Visit me any time, my friend.
Explosives, metaphysics, and perception. Nice. Perception buff is pretty sweet.
I'm here. Certainly.
Have you come to hear some verse? Farewell.
I'm here. Quietly now. Just a moment.
A
Please?
very difficult lock.
Well, if you insist. There you
Rank
go.
thievery! Really? Get out! You are no longer welcome here.
Couldn't remember if doing that actually caused you to immediately be detected, or if you could do it and then... Basically, I couldn't remember if doing things like that triggered on picking up the item or actually doing the thing. Apparently, it's on doing the thing. Alright, if that is the case, then we will just talk at
Have
her.
you come to hear some verse?
Khan's looking for someone named Oswald. We'll go with what's your problem with Khan?
Oh, her. Yes, she is persistent, isn't she? She barged in and began asking me all sorts of inappropriate questions about my customers. She grew incensed when I asked her to leave. She's no longer welcome in my room.
Annalise wrings her hands and looks away. Her gaze settles on her armoire in the corner.
I do hope she's not a friend of yours. Her manners are atrocious.
Khan's looking for someone named Oswald. Sound familiar?
I'm sure I don't know who you're talking about. Now please leave.
She gestures towards her door and makes a shooing motion. Probably go the diplomatic route, since we have so much diplomacy. What if he's in danger? Don't you care about his well-being?
If I knew a man named Oswald, and if that man was in danger, I would still decline to be involved. Now, is there something else I can do for you?
Really? Did
I'm
not
sure
pass
I
that
don't
check.
know who you're talking about. Now please leave.
Insight. It's clear you care quite a bit for him. Let me help. You chews on a knuckle, brow furrowed, deciding whether she should trust you. Then she sighs heavily and gives you a sheepish smile.
Oswald has visited oft of late. He's a sentimental old man, and he longs for the words of our homeland, Adir. I would often read the old epics to him in their original Eldadiran.
Her eyes gain a distant, unfocused look, and a wistful smile spreads across her face.
He's grown paranoid recently, however, always muttering about the shadows following him and other such nonsense. It was quite unnerving, frankly. He came to me in a panic a few days ago and shoved his journal into my hands. He told me he'd be back for it, but I've not seen hide nor hair of him since. I wonder, perhaps his journal would help you find him. Here, take this key. You'll find the journal in my armoire.
Okay.
Happily. Yes?
Nice.
Have you come to hear some verse? Farewell.
that was an enjoyable little experience. We got a character, we found the source for some good buffs. Cool. And we've got... Already read that. Oswald's Journal. Godendag? This afternoon, I walked the streets of Nekataka and felt an unusual spring in my step. I cannot be sure if it's the fine weather of the archipelago, or my great distance from the deerwood and the blasted Goose and Fox Inn that has gifted me this buoyancy of spirit, but I am grateful nonetheless. I've seen no sign of the girl. Helia be praised. God's willing, I have slipped her net at last. Do not know how to pronounce that. The shadows are strange here, seeming to move of their own accord. As I passed from Queen's Berth to Periki's Overlook this morning, I could have sworn I saw one turn to face me, then another. I fled the area as quickly as I could, and as far as I can tell, I was not followed. I have many enemies, as any man of a roguish, adventurous mien should, though none have cause to search for me here. I know these shadows must be a trick of the mind, but still I am uneasy. Next entry is written in a shaky, wild hand, clearly penned in great haste. As I put me down to bed this evening, I heard a faint whispering beneath my window. I always leave it open to better catch the breeze, and thanks be to Helia for it, for I might have been none the wiser. However, when I went to investigate, no one was there, and yet I know I heard voices. I may be old, perhaps even paranoid, but I am not crazy. Must leave this place with all haste. Gods protect me in my flight. On the next and final page of the journal is the symbol of Wodika, broken crown, scrawled in red ink. Swank.
At once. You might
Ooh, hey!
find this interesting.
Of course.
Nice. High perception. And this is why I normally play characters who have like 20 perception. Almost every time I play a CRPG, I will make either a caster with very high perception, because generally in a lot of CRPGs, the casting matters. Stats can matter less for casters in certain ways. And in this one, they do not. A heads up. But quite frequently I'll just play something like a ranger or a rogue, because stealing and stealth are always important, and high perception tends to work out for those classes and is almost always important. And I like secrets. So we get a Juana charm belt with plus 15 strength and plus 1 survival. So we will actually throw that onto Adair, because that will give him some maneuverability and survival. Sweet. Okay, we go talk to Khan. Khan!
Have you got any leads on that mad old goat yet?
Here's the journal. Khan flips through Oswald's journal, then stops and looks up at you, eyes wide. Someone had hastily scrawled the broken symbol of Wodika across the last page. Khan mutters to herself. She traces the symbol with her finger and frowns.
Oh, Oswald, you really stepped in it now, haven't ya? Getting mixed up with Woodikins? You damned old fool.
She shakes her head sadly and closes the journal with a snap.
Where could they have taken him?
Survival. You must have sailed through half the Deadfire to get to Nekataka. Anything catch your eye?
Not really. To be honest, I spent most of the trip out from Defiance Bay, bent over the bulwark, giving Andra a taste of my innards. I hate boats.
Say nothing.
Damn, if only I could find that captain who gave us passage to the Deadfire. Bet he'd know. Wait a tick.
He blinks, remembering.
When our ship neared Nekataka, the bosun told me about a weird temple on an island in the Karatapu Channel, southwest of the city. She wouldn't tell me what it was for, though. Got real spooked when I asked.
Shrug, seems as good a place to start as any.
Go take a look then, and let me know what you find.
She marks the location on your map with a flourish.
With any luck, you'll catch the old goat there in one piece, and we'll both leave here with some weight in our purse.
I'm here. I'd be glad to.
If I remember, that's actually a hard fight. Like, it was hard. It was hard the first time I played the game on normal, much less on Path of the Damned. Like, it's a challenging fight. Okay, we've got a couple of different quests now. So, we've got Zamar and Rodara's quest with the thugs. We've got 2 bounties now. And it is taking forever to load out of these freaking places. Holy crap. Look at our map. World map. That apparently. Well, poop. I am. That is not where I am at. Alright, that's
Certainly.
weird. Oh, I will say, shit. We should rest before we do anything else. Because Seraphin is actually wounded.
Now, what, you see anything?
Ah, Constantine's room. So now that we have moved Constantine out, we can get +3 dexterity and a 30% chance to reflect against spells. It costs 800, which is very expensive right now. We will rest in the private dance room instead. Nice, so we all have private dance. Gives us a nice little bonus to skills. Okay, so what are we gonna do? I think I like the idea of getting to see some of our storyline and recruiting some new characters, because I like Seraphin, and I'm gonna bounce back and forth between using different characters throughout this run. I'm not gonna use the same static party the entire time, but I also don't want to.
Have you heard about the commotion at the palace?
Of course. Something about Luminous Adra.
A giant made of luminous adra.
All I know is that they're all at each other's throats up there.
So I don't want to have Aloth and Seraphin together for too long, and then get them pissed off at each other. So we head up to Periki's Overlook, and we will probably run through Periki's. Boop. I booped your snoot. Periki's is cool. At the bathhouse, got the Archimir's Manor, which is a dope-ass mage. It has the Dark Cupboard and the exotic herbs. I do not remember what the refreshments are. It's got the Marihi's Metalwork, which is one of those guys that's a better weapon crafter, basically. And it's got the Water Shaper Guild, which is totally cool. But we don't care about all that right now. I mean, we do, but we don't care about all that right now.
You had no right to interfere in Rawatai's business.
Hawana culture isn't business, you company drudge.
I don't remember what... I remember that you have to kind of like choose between them.
Happily.
But Jules. Which one is Jules? Jules is... Perception. We already have Perception, but you can get Jules and Gosha, and you can stack.
The sea is true home.
That smelly mountain.
Look, yeah, it's worthless idiot. We want him.
What you want?
The imp recoils from you with a sharp hiss. What are you doing out here?
Arkemir doesn't let worthless idiot outside after worthless idiot sprayed dung on stupid tablet. But Arkemir not home.
Mischievous grin splits the imp's bony features.
So worthless idiot watches the ships come in. Looks at all the tasty gulls.
It sighs down at the vista of oceans and docks. Your name is Worthless Idiot?
Those Arkemir's big words. Gave name, but worthless idiot no understand.
Worthless Idiot wriggles a finger in its ear. I'm pretty sure he meant it as an insult.
That's so? Worthless idiot should ask Stinkfoot or Catbreath what they say.
You want to set sail and eat gulls? You're welcome aboard the Defiant. The imp takes in your words, its eyes widening to the size of moist saucers. A flap of its wings carries it closer to whisper in your ear.
How often you beat your crew, huh?
It doesn't whisper at all, and the question sends a ringing through your ears. I don't. Not yet, at least.
No beatings? None?
It blinks, struggling to encompass the idea.
I join crew? I join crew!
The imp flutters in an excited little circle. It points down at the distant shape of Queen's Berth and salivates at the sight of gulls landing on the rigging of the Defiant. And then all the gulls died.
Of course.
Engraving at the base of the statue reads Periki, first guild master of the Water Shapers Guild. She looks downcast and introspective.
Did the queen summon everyone to the palace?
Akira, I've never seen Aruihi run so fast.
Do you think the Audra Colossus would come here next?
Pray to Kahopa, it does not.
Indeed.
Oh, pray to Kahopa that it does. Hey, Ripple Sponge, very useful. Alright, to the Serpent's Crown. We're gonna get us some story, and if I'm remembering correctly, we will also pick up Maya or maybe Pelagina. I do not remember which. Maybe both?
Happily.
Hold a moment. You may visit the palace and its shrine, but be warned. The Queen meets with trading company vipers. Take care you are not bitten.
I have information for the Queen.
You will find her in her throne room through the door behind me. Inform the guards of your purpose. Whether the Queen will hear you above the baying of her guests is another matter.
Fair enough. The guard gestures towards the door, dismissing you. Baying. I'll bay at you. Bay. Hey, bay, bay. Hey, bay, bay. Day. Ayo, day. Hey, Pelagina, Maya.
While I am flattered by the esteemed Hazanui's confidence, I must wonder how my people are meant to have destroyed an entire colony overnight.
The Valian dignitary aims a withering look across the aisle. A middle-aged woman with a square jaw and tar-stained teeth meets it.
You tell us. It's no coincidence that your outpost at Port Mage survived the recent storm.
She pulls a slender pipe from her pocket, but a look from the Queen's attendant, she puts it away.
You speak as if I could command the tides. While you are casting your blame in a wide net, why not look to our Kahunga allies? We do not share their talent for shaping water.
A sizable Amawa standing by the throne takes a bold step forward and flares his nostrils at the assembled dignitaries. A hush falls over the room.
I say our guest forgets himself.
He clears his throat and sweeps his gaze from Nero to the rest of the room.
Brother, stand down.
Up to this point, the queen has studied the proceedings with an even expression. She half rises from her throne as she fixates on Prince Aruhi.
You are the one who mistakes my throne room for a sparring arena. I say this is beneath us.
As Aruhi lowers his head, the queen slowly centers her gaze on you and leaves it there.
An interesting visitor in difficult times. You cannot be here to deliver a favorable omen.
Though her mouth doesn't move, Onakaza's voice comes to you like an insistent memory nestled among your surface thoughts. We're gonna go diplomatic. Nod to Onakaza.
Allow me to apologize as I toss you before the wolves.
I love Queen Onakaza, I really do. Generally speaking, like, I do not agree with all of her policies as a queen as presented within the game, but I like the way she portrays herself and the way she treats you. Though she turns to the dignitaries, you still feel her attention on you.
This one is a watcher blessed by Tangaloa. I suspect that many of our questions about Hasongo will soon be answered.
Queen's voice fills the expansive throne room, leaving you with a hushed silence to fill. If it pleases the court, I've journeyed from a crippled Port Mage.
I know this one. His parlor tricks frightened 10 years of every sailor in Queen's Birth.
Raising her hand for silence, Onakaza looks to her brother. He approaches, and they exchange a few words too quietly to hear. She lifts her gaze to you once more.
We assembled to discuss the darkening of Hasongo, one of Rawatai's colonies. Watcher, it seems you have the floor.
Port Mage suffered similar damage when Aethus passed through.
Huh. What sailor's tale is this?
There's no sane explanation for what's been happening. You keep waiting for one, it'll be too late.
Does tilling the soils of the Eastern Reach drive all men mad? You sound as crazy as the Dawnstar Dreamers.
He looks at Adair the way one would look an especially rabid but fascinating animal.
Have you not heard the rumors, Karu? An Adra Colossus marching across the sea. Sailor tales, but credible ones.
Nero crosses his arms, looking distinctly uncomfortable.
Gantanichese. I'm acquainted with the Watcher of Cadnua from my assignments in Defiance Bay and Twin Elms.
Hell yeah, you are, Palagina. Man, I love Palagina in Pillars of Eternity 1. I don't like Palagina in Pillars of Eternity. I like her less because we're playing the class that she is. But we're going to be taking her in a slightly different route. We'll be taking her in kind of like a DPS route. Two-hander, kill.
Diverus? It explains the colorful nature of your reports.
I have seen things with him that are not even told in the most outlandish of sailors' tales.
And I'm supposed to take two Valians at their word?
She gestures between Nero and Palagina.
How came a watcher from half the world away to be involved in these happenings? Enlighten the court.
Aethus emerged from beneath Cadnua, my castle. He made this personal. Silence descends on the halls. Courtiers and delegates eye one another, seemingly gauging which of them will be the first to laugh. A stern look from Queen Onakaza turns every questioning glance to stone.
Tracking down a god who stands as tall as a mountain. A fisherman with poor eyesight could do this. My priests will trip over their feet to interpret his divine plan. Watcher, can you cut through the din and tell for what he comes to the Deadfire?
Yes, I plan on using Audra pillars to track and ultimately confront Aethys.
How resourceful of you. The Isles are studded with enough luminous Audra to bankroll an economy.
She turns a quiet glance to Nero's direction.
I believe our course is clear. We will send the Watcher to Hisongo.
Onikaza spreads her hands, calmly assured of her reasoning.
Set sail to the west of Nekataka. I would tell you to keep a weather eye out for a lighthouse, but the God of Light did not appreciate competition. Something to add, Hazanui? You have an eager look about you. She believes herself entitled to my ear, I say.
Onikaza's gaze wanders back to you only briefly.
Only that Hisongo is a Rawatayan outpost. It would be useful for the Watcher to take one of ours along.
She inclines her chin at another woman standing nearby.
Ma'am.
A composed Amawa stands at attention, her furrowed brow cleaving down otherwise warm features. By her feet, a colorful bird preens itself without concern.
Maya's an expert sailor and a better sharpshooter. The best the Brass Citadel has to offer.
She looks you in the eye and gives you a slow nod.
Whatever comes your way, she'll see it first.
If it gets me and Ashiza out of diplomat duty, we'd set sail with a drunk scolder at the helm.
Maya sighs with resignation and nudges her bird affectionately with her toe.
And shut us out entirely? We have every right to know of any hazards in these waters. Palagina, go with the Watcher. See that the Republics are served in this investigation.
Hero turns to the godlike warrior standing off to the side.
Ah, Your Excellency. Hamed Kong Swalias.
Palagina's golden eyes flash in your direction, but her face portrays no hint of emotion.
That will be enough parading of champions for now.
Right?
I'm certain that our guest knows
No,
how to
take
assemble
mine!
a crew.
No, take mine! Oh, shit. I'd be like, can't I take both? I need all the help I can get. Like, legitimately. Can't I take both? I need all the help I can get.
Akira, if you can stand the chattering of unlike minds on your ship, that is your prerogative.
Onikaza blinks with amusement as she takes note of the look that Maya and Palagina exchange.
Oh, good thing I'm already accustomed to cramped quarters and temperamental birds.
Oh, shit! She winks at Palagina. Palagina is an avian godlike, by the way. That's why that's a especially good burn. Seraphin's eyes close as he nods along. Shodi lifts her chin in interest.
We both have our orders. I have no interest in interfering with you as long as you do not interfere with me.
Aloth flashes a quick, pleased glance.
I believe we are finished here. Aruihi?
Aruihi? Queen Onikaza rises from her throne and the surrounding guards stand at immediate attention.
Aren't we popular? Take care at Hisongo. The Deadfire was overfull before Aethys blundered in.
Onikaza nods to you as she adjourns.
And take care with your trading company spies.
She glances at Maya and Palagina.
I say it is beyond time our guests lick their wounds somewhere else.
He banishes the foreign dignitaries with a swift and unmistakably disgusted wave. Aruihi is dope. So what we'll probably do is we'll probably replace Seraphin. Oh shit! Oh fuck! Odie, what do we want to do? Oh, don't you get me? Did you get me? We'll probably replace Seraphin with Maya. So we'll have a team of me, Adair, Shodi, Aloth, and Maya. And I think there's no conflicts in that. And then we will have a team that is Palagina, Shodi, Takehu, and Seraphim. I think. Let me double check that real quick. Pillars of Eternity 2. So Aloth dislikes the pride that both Seraphim and Takehu demonstrate. Even Shodi can get on his nerves, though this is offset by her dutiful responses. So I believe Aloth and Shodi won't come to blows, generally speaking. But Aloth will come to blows with Seraphim and Takehu. And then Shodi and Palagina won't get along due to their opposing views on religion. But hopefully that will be offset by... Palagina's probably going to be one of the ones that I use the least. But generally speaking, what we'll probably do is because we want to do most of the character quests, and we'll always bring the recommended person, because there's a little quest tracker that shows who's recommended for a quest. So that being the case, probably going to go Ranger Rogue for Maya. One, I think Ranger Rogue is probably the better setup. But two, Maya's probably going to be with Aloth the majority of the time. So it makes more sense to go Ranger Rogue. I say that. She's probably going to be with Adair most of the time. He's also a rogue. It doesn't matter the stacking up classes. I don't have to worry about that. I think at the end of the day, Ranger Rogue is going to, I'm going to be able to build for crits. I'm going to be able to crit the shit out of things. Ranger Rogue is going to work really well. Ranger Wizard probably would work just fine, but that's going to be doing things like Merciless Gaze, right? I guess it's going to be... it'd probably be doing the same shit that Aloth already basically is. So, I don't know. Just the name Geomancer sounds cooler. I think Ranger Rogue, though. What's her... She has Gunhawk. Gunhawk is all firearms have increased range, and all firearms have a chance to interrupt on hit. And there's no penalty for it. And she's got Ishiza. She doesn't have a rogue special, and she doesn't have a wizard special. Don't know on the whole wizard thing. Wizard, you'd get... weapon summonings. Oh, we can't go Cade Ball's Black Bow anyways. Cade Ball's Black Bow would be really cool to do, but that's So we can't do any of the summonable weapons, so that's kind of out of the ballpark. So we would just be doing buffs. So we'd just be doing things like Merciless Gaze into... what's the other one? Yeah, probably just do... Ranger Rogue. Okay, and then Palagina, right? We already have... Oh, I guess we go... We could do Paladin Chanter, but I'm already a Paladin Chanter. And while I don't mind having multiples of the same classes at the same time, I don't want to have the exact same multi-class. Right, so we're probably going to go Crusader. So we'll probably go Paladin Fighter, which actually is really, really strong anyways, because then you can basically just spam Devotion or not devotion, flames of, what's it called? This one. So flames of devotion. Yeah. So you basically just turn her into like this two-handed powerhouse brute with fighter. She does get a special though with her, however you pronounce this, her Brotherhood of the Five Sons. So she gets the Wrath of the Five Sons, which is not great, but it works. You know? She comes with some... Not a big fan of Glory Speaking. But we could get some other stuff, some shared flames, or more likely some eternal flames. Eternal devotion. Pretty good. Yeah, we've got some stuff that we can definitely get on her. She comes with random ass combinations. Fighter stances, so we do the same type of thing. We want discipline barrage into fighter stances. She is definitely a two-handed style. Yeah, okay. We'll do Crusader. Crusader. Oh shit. I'm not sure. We're gonna kick Seraphin for now, and we're gonna bring Maya.
While we have the chance.
Okay.
Yes? Certainly.
And we've got so much shit to do. Now we've got so many places to look through in Nekataka. We have hit level 6. We're gonna have to level everyone. Goodness gracious. We've got so much to be doing in the game.
Yes?
We will have to do all of that stuff next time. That's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye, everybody.